So in this video, we quickly run through the vectors and introduce you to the idea of vectors. So what are vectors? They are sequence containers. Before starting to use any vector, you need to include the vector library. And so how do we start? We need to initialize a vector. A vector is a sequence container. It is provided by the standard template library, and they are stored in a linear sequence. That's why they are called sequence containers. Another name for a vector is a dynamic array. That is the syntax for declaring and initializing a vector object. Now, another name for vectors are dynamic arrays because they are internally in memory allocated in the heap, and the reason why they are internally allocated in the heap is for them to be able to resize in order for them to grow. And because the memory allocation is an expensive task, they don't do the reallocation many times. They do it once only. So if we can use this member function to print out the size of the vector, and then we can use this function cout to display the capacity of the vector as well. However, during operations on a vector, the capacity and the size would not particularly be the same. The capacity most of the times, or all of the times, will be greater than the size. That is, if you do perform certain insertion operations and pushback operations. Imagine a vector as the data structure stack, and where you are able to have the vector pushback method. With the pushback method, you are able to push elements at the top of your vector, at the back. So this would be the back of the vector, while this would be the front of the vector. And so if we push 4, we can then perform another push operation. We can have 5 and then 6. That is how we can push back elements in a vector. And notice that the size was 3, then the capacity became 6. That is obvious, yeah. But then if we do the insert, so this is another way where we can insert elements. Now this is a pushback, which will insert to the back of the vector. But if we want to insert at the beginning of the vector, then we need to deal with iterators. Vectors have random access iterators, meaning that you can access the vectors through random access. And this is the random access. You are able to have constant time, big O of 1, because it's like a stack. You're able to access the vector by using the index. And just to remind you that a vector is a template class. This is a template class, while this here is a class. So this is a template class, while this is a class vector integer. Insertion so pushback method will as well take big O of 1. They are constant time because it is like a stack. While if you want to do the insertion, so if we do the vector insert, then insertion at a particular index throughout the vector, then with this would be taking the big O of n. And on the order of big O of n, you are able to insert into the vector at a particular position. So before we dive into inserting, we need to understand the iterators of vectors. The iterators of vectors, you can start by declaring the iterator by using this syntax. You get the class and use the iterator keyword iter, let's name it iter, then let's set it to the beginning. Now iter beginning would point at this position, so it would point at this region just before the first element, while let's remove the pushbacks, while if we use the iter end, this would point after the last element. That's why if you see out, this is a pointer, you can dereference. If you dereference the first pointer, and we have the second pointer, now if you dereference the first pointer, then we will be expecting the value 1, while if we dereference the second pointer, it is after 3, then this will be just an empty. This will be just 0, yes, because it is pointing after 3. We can perform pointer arithmetics on this iterator. So because it is random access, you're able to do plus equal, let's say iter 1 plus equal 2. And what does iter 1 plus equal 2 mean? Moving 1 and then 2. Therefore, iter 1 would be just before 3. If iter 1 was just before 3, then you are able to print out the 3. You are able to perform such operations. You can do the pre-increment, you are able to do the post-increment, all thanks to the random access of the vector. Now let's assume we want to insert just before 1 the number 0. So to insert into the vector, it would be insert then you'll be getting using the vector begin, then we insert into the vector 0. So we indicate that the iter is pointing just before 1, insert the 0. Let's now print out the entire array, the entire vector, sorry. So you're able to use a for loop for I in the vector. I, as you can see, we have inserted 0 at the very beginning, and this operation is at the order of big O of n, and it is not constant time. While if you were to use vector dot pushback, then this would be this will insert after 3 at the very top or the very back of the vector, and this will be constant time. So that is the difference. Assume we wanted to insert another 1, just 1 between the 2 and the 3. So with that, then we need to get the right pointer. So let's start with the second pointer. Let's start with the iter 2. Iter 2 is initially pointing at 3, so we can decrement iter 2. After decrementing iter 2, we can insert the value 1, and iter 2 is pointing just before 3, so it would insert the 1 before 3, then and print out the entire vector, and as you can see, we have inserted into the vector. Now this is all for the iters. One more thing we need to discuss is the constructors of the vector. Assume we put the value 3 and 10. Well, then this will put in your vector 3 values, 3 10 values. So to put 3 10s. This is the now we have 3 10s in the vector. Let's start, maybe for instance, we can start by constructing the vector by putting the size 3. And if the size 3 of your vector was 3, then all the values initially would be 0. So if you hit enter, the values will be 0. If you use now the vector dot pushback, let's push 1, the value 1, print the vector afterwards, you can see that you can see what will happen is that you still have the zeros, and then you have the 1 pushed after the zeros. So this is important for the vector. Ideally, you will, in order for you to push this here, in order for you to remove the 0, you need to just deconstruct the vector as an empty vector, and throughout the program it will automatically resize. We can use another way to display the vector. You can use auto iter is equal to vector begin, and then have a for loop. Let's declare the iter for the vector with the term iterator. We'll then have this, we'll then initialize it inside the for loop. The iter would be equal to begin. Iter would not be equal to vector end. Let's put inside the vector values of 1 to ranging from 1 to 5. We can then increment the iterator, and while we're looping, just dereference the iterator. And that is here another way for constructing the. So what is the problem here? Is unequal to iter. Oh, apologies. It is working, yes. Apologies for the comment, syntax error. That is pushing back. Pushing back is appending into the vector. And then there is another way for you to display a certain index, so you are able to access any element. So using random access, so we can display the second element. Vectors indexing start from 0, or we can use the .at method. And the .at method would print out the same value. You can check if your vector is empty or not. So we have this member function provided by the vector. It is vector.empty. It returns a boolean whether it is 1 or 0, and here the vector is not empty. There is another way, so we have 3 different methods to check the vector is empty. You can use the empty, you can use the size, and the size, if it was empty, would be equal to 0, or you can use using the iterator method. If the iterator begin was equal to the iterator begin was equal to the iterator end, then your vector size, then your vector is empty. Now that's all for these are the vector operations. Let's talk about deleting. Now with erasing, so for deleting from a vector we use the function erase. And the function erase you would need to provide within iterator. So if you provide this is here an overloaded function. There is vector with, well, this is here one argument only. You can have another erase with 2 arguments as well. And the erase number function is overloaded. So we can start by declaring a pointer of type iterator. Iter is equal to vs dot begin. Assume we want to delete the first element. So what we can do is having the iterator just before the first element, and then we put the erase pointing the pointer towards 1. We can then print out, display the vector. We have deleted 1. Now this is for the first overloaded function of erase. We have the second overloaded function where you are able to provide a range of, you're able to erase a range of numbers or range of elements. So assume we want to delete the from 1 to 3. So we need to provide the range of iterators from 1 to 3. Let's zoom in a bit and see. The first iterator we need to provide will be just before 1. The second iterator we need to provide will be just before 3, just after 3. And so if we do provide this range of iterators, we're able to erase these elements. Iter will be plus equal 2, or let's say that the iter would be 2. So 1 and then 2, and then we need 3 increments for the iterator. We can then hit enter and check the output. Now this is for erasing, and for erasing again this is big O of n. That is the time complexity. Because this is a stack, you have the push back and you have the pop back as well. Now the pop back, you're just able to delete or pop out the last element, but just be cautious that this is illegal. And the pop back of a vector, the member function, does not return whatever has been popped back, and this will provide you an error. Pop back is a void value. There is no return for the pop back. And of course, because we can imagine vector as being a stack, you have the front method where you're able to display the front of the vector. And then we have as well the back method, which will display the back of the vector. So the front is 1 and the back is 4. Someone may be interested in copying an array into a vector. So we have this array into this is an integer array, and then we have to construct a vector and then put the array inside the vector. You have 2 methods. You can use the default, you can use this overloaded constructor. You just provide the range of pointers because the array is a pointer to the first element and is pointing just before the 1. So provide the range of pointers, that is from 1 to 4. So we'd need to increment the array pointer by 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And here you are able then to copy a vector into an array. Yes. There is another method of copying a vector. We can use we need to, in order to have the copy function is provided by the standard template library, and the copy function is inside the algorithms library. So we can include the algorithms library, and with the copy function there is no need for the constructor. We can provide again the range of pointers and have the vector point to the beginning. However, this may sound correct, but it's actually incorrect because the vector is initially empty. So let's keep this and talk about it later, just in a bit. Let's talk how do we use the copy of the algorithm to copy an array into a vector. Well, then we need to use the function called backinserter. The function backinserter will be using the vector pushback method provided by the vector library, and pushback, if the vector is initially empty, well then it will increase the size accordingly. However, with the so that is how we can this is how we can copy the array into the vector using the back inserter when the array is initially empty. However, when your array, so that is when the array is initially empty, we're able to copy the array into a vector. However, in the case where the array was already initialized, so already had 5 elements, so currently the vector has 5 zeros inside, and what will happen, because the back inserter uses pushback, it will have 5 zeros in the vector initially, so it will push back 1, 2, 3, 4, appending it to the array where we have zeros. So this would be the output you have. You have the 5 zeros and then the appended elements. So to overwrite these zeros, what you can do is that you can't use the back inserter, but we use a pointer to the beginning of the array. And when we use a pointer to the beginning of the array, we have overwritten the zeros using the elements in the array. And that was pretty much all, hopefully, for the vector. The advantages of a vector, again, they are dynamic. They can hold as many items as you want. Insertion and deleting using the pushback and the pop back provide you with the constant time, and they are the most efficient. While erasing using the erase function and using the insert function will be big O of n. And if you want to access or index any element in the vector, then this would be even constant time, because it is using a random access for the vectors. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you so much.